Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot, and this is another book chat. Hello, welcome back. Okay, today I want to talk about fiction books versus non-fiction books. Now, I like reading. Doesn't really matter what it is. You give me a pamphlet, I'll read. I'll read it. Okay, I'm the kind of person when I'm waiting for like my washing to spin dry, I'll read the back of the washing powder box. Okay, I just love reading. It's just like awesome. I do, of course, like everybody, have certain tastes, and one of my favorite things to do is to read fiction books. I love going into that headspace where I can create and I can visualize and all that sort of thing. But I do like non-fiction books. However, I have very, very specific taste when it comes to non-fiction. At the moment, I am Agatha Christie obsessed. I'm sure you guys will see that in a next video sometime this month. So I'm buying a lot of Agatha Christie non-fiction stuff. Her autobiography, a couple of the books that were written about her, a couple of the books that were put together about her travels through the world. So I'm really down and dirty with Agatha. Okay, there are other non-fiction books that I really really enjoy. I have a lot of sort of occult books and esoteric stuff that are all non-fiction. And yet I also love my ghost stories and my Victorian novels and my H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that. So it's very difficult. I think that with non-fiction books, I believe that we are all slightly more selective. I think it's just a thing, because you know that with a fiction book you can get into that headspace of entertainment and creativity, whereas with a non-fiction book there isn't really any of that. Okay, it's factual, so you have to just go by what the author says or what the author has put down. And sometimes I really like that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that. I don't want to have to sit with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and try and create this. Sometimes I just want something that is there, that is factual, that I'm actually learning something from. Now, a lot of people say that you can only learn from non-fiction books. Fiction books, you can't learn anything. I call bullshit in that. I believe that with fiction books, you can learn a lot. Okay, you can learn a lot about human nature with fiction. Whereas with non-fiction, whatever's in the book, that's what you're being taught. Okay, there's very seldom like an overlap between non-fiction books, unless you're reading like a series. Okay, so book one will be like the first thing in a series. That way, yes, you probably get out of it a lot more than if you just read one non-fiction book. When it comes to non-fiction, I'm not going to go and buy a book on fishing. I'm not going to go and buy a non-fiction book on tractors. Okay, that doesn't interest me. There are people out there who would love that. I mean, my one uncle loves fishing, and the easiest thing to give him as a birthday or Christmas present would be a book on fishing. He's got about 500 of them, but any new book on fishing is really cool. He doesn't read fiction. He only reads books. He's obsessed with books on fishing. So for somebody like that, yeah, non-fiction is fantastic. I have to have that combination of fiction and non-fiction books. Some of as I said, my best non-fiction books are about people, written by people about themselves or about specific people. Not so much modern people. Like, I'm not going to go and buy a book on Princess Diana. It doesn't interest me. But I would perhaps go and buy a biography of Wilkie Collins. Okay. So yeah, it's a personal thing, isn't it? Isn't it just like super personal, like what you read and how you read? And it doesn't only extend to your fiction. It also extends to your non-fiction. Let me know below, what is like your favorite kind of non-fiction genre, and what is one of the best or better non-fiction books that you have read and you can highly recommend, and then tell me why you would recommend it. Okay, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. This has been Book Chat, and I will see you next Thursday.